Hola a todos, espero que está bien. I'm so sorry for no entiendo el idioma del inglés, del español, nunca problema. Problema como gamebox g11 Pro. Problem for system block. No problem. Enter. For website. For download image system. For SD card. Enter Google Drive. Super Console X2 Xmax Emuelec 4.3 no. Yes. Download file. File torrent for image. Enter for torrent application. Download file Super Console X2 Pro Emuelec 4.5 bin. Descarga toda la aplicación. Okay. Now enter for now SD card. SD card 55 giga. No problem. Preparado image for PC. Enter for application ImageUsb. Format SD card. No format now. Copy for all file from SD card original. Copy Emuelec. Todo file. All file. Copy. Enter a PC. Paste for all file. Now copy for ROMs file. EEROMs copy for all, paste on this PC. EEROM original files from Gbox G11 Pro. Good. Copy all files. Now format SD card. SD card format. Enter this PC, USB drive. Okay. Now enter for files, for application, USB, image USB. Click OK. Click for memory card SD. Click for word image to USB drive, post image verification. Click here. Enter for image download. Entrar para folder application download, application descarga. Super Console X2 Pro Emuelec. Click OK. Click Word. Ok. Espero para terminado de la instalación del image for SD card.
You will need to order it at least a month in advance and expect at least 2 weeks before it hits your door. Now I have the device powered off. I want to turn it on and show you the load up screen so that way you know that you have the same Super Console X2 Pro. Now I won't know if they make any changes to this device, so if yours is a little bit different of a load up screen than mine, it's probably still the same, but I just want to show you what mine looks like when we boot it up. And there is some music that plays, so I'm going to turn that on right now. There is a button in the back of the device that I push to turn it on. You may have to plug in your device and press that button for it to load up. And so here we see the console is now loading up. Alright, so that's the music there. It's quite loud if you ask me. So you'll see this Ken Hank Games Retro loading screen. This is running off of Emuelec. Emuelec is a free Android-powered emulator that's going to house all of your emulators and all of your ROMs into an easy to use loading screen. Now this screen that is shown here is the one that came default, but it actually happens to be my favorite because of the way it shows the console. The information is easy to take in, and you can easily see all the consoles here that I can select. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is plug in your USB controller. So I have a USB controller that is similar to an Xbox 360 controller. It has two joysticks, two triggers, the bumper buttons, and then the 4 buttons up on top, and a D-pad attached to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug it in right now, and once you have done that, even though you haven't configured your controller, you will be able to push the sticks you do not have by. Don't just push anything all randomly. Make sure you hit D-pad up, D-pad down, D-pad left, D-pad right. Then you're going to press the start button, usually the right button on your controller, and then select is going to be your left button, and then you're going to press button A. That's going to be the east button. South button is going to be B. And keep in mind that your controller might be labeled differently. So what they mean by south is the lowest button of the 4 buttons on your controller. For instance, a PS controller, that might be the X button, but it doesn't matter because it's the lowest button. This one's the highest most button. This one's the leftmost button, or west button. Left shoulder is going to be your left bumper. Right shoulder is going to be your right bumper. Left trigger and right trigger. Oh, and so that one, it actually skipped on me. So now I made a mistake. That's okay. What we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and skip down everything here. And I'm actually glad this happened because I can show you fairly easily how to save everything if you make a mistake. So, made a mistake here. Now we're going to just do it again. So I made a mistake. Now we're just going to go back. Emuelec. If you do, right now I have super con the way I want it now. But what I'll do is I'll just power next one or any game that you wanted to access. And if we look at the bottom row of our screen, you'll see there's some commands. There's options, menu, Y, search, random, hold, save states, favorite, launch game, game options, and it says hold. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold the A button to access game options. So these are the game options. You can view game media. So all we have is a picture here. Save states, if you're playing this game and you saved it in the game, then you're going to be able to access them here without having to load directly into the game. You can just load the save state here. And then one of my favorite things to do is scrape. So what that's going to do is it's going to scrape all the little metadata on the game. It's going to search the internet for it. And if it finds a video, you can download that video and it'll automatically add it to your device, and that video will then be in your rotation of videos that it's going to play. Now there is a way that you can scrape all the games on the device, but I do not recommend you do this because it will take up space on your device, and your device is going to come loaded with a lot, pretty much full, and so you're not going to have a lot of room for videos. So do not scrape all. Also, some of these sites where it scrapes the data from, it's not going to let you just take all their data. It wants you to sign in if you're going to be using it to download all 100,000 games that are on this. And so just keep in mind that if you scrape all, you're not going to get the results you want. I recommend just going to the games that you want to see play. And you see how it has that little camera? It looks like where it says special edition, there's a little shape of a camera. If I select that one, it's going to download the video. And it's coming from Screen Scraper. The one below is coming from the Games DB. You could just go directly to those websites and download them, but the way this is configured, you can do it internally from this device without having to remove the SD card, without having to do anything special. It'll load that video directly into your game. And what's nice about doing the videos is that you can then access the video as you're hovering through the game. So you see now the Earthworm Jim video is playing versus being a static image. And I like having that. And what I do is I will make this a favorite game of mine. And so if you look at the bottom, I need to press X where it says save states. But if I hold it down, it'll make it a favorite. So let's do that. So I usually, anything that I have a video on, I will, oh, and I actually pushed the wrong button. I actually did Y, and I did random. So let's do X, and we're going to do favorite. And so now, you see the star next to it, it is now a favorite. If you do not want to do that, but you want to make something a favorite, you hold the button down. You can also go to add to favorites that way, and it'll give it a star. So let's go ahead and add the Batman video to our collection. And some of them load up quickly. Earthworm Jim took a while, but Batman instantly found the video. So now we have Batman Returns and Earthworm Jim in the Sega CD automatically played. Now as you go through these games, please understand that each console has its own emulator. So here we are, we're going to load up Mortal Kombat. And it is going to use an emulator, so it tells you right there which emulator that you're using. And the game is just going to load up. And what I wanted to show you is for tip number 3, I guess. I'm not really keeping track, but tip number 1 was the controller. Tip number 2 was connecting to Wi-Fi. Tip number 3 actually was downloading videos to your console. So tip number 4 is going to be how to save in the game. So what's really cool about this is that if you find yourself in a game that you can save your progress, then it'll automatically save it for you. You do not have to do anything special. So if there is a save state in the game, you can let it do it that way. Now, I'm just loading this game up so that you can see it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do hot command. So my hot command is a dedicated button, but your hot command might be select. Load it from here, and a lot of trouble. And some games have to use certain emulators. Some will not work at all. So keep that in mind. Let's say we want to play Banjo-Kazooie. When we load it up, we might get a red error screen. And I have not tested this out. Let's see if we get a red error screen. We look right at the middle of the screen. It says we're using Parallel N64. And so there we see the game is running off of Parallel. But will give me some options here and how to toggle through them. If we go to emulator, you can see here there are some different options. So we were in Parallel N64 32-bit. Mupen 64 Plus uses the most the most graphical intensive version of this game, and I do not anticipate this to work. Unfortunately, one of the limitations of the Super Console X2 Pro is the chip is not, and you can see here the N looks different right off the bat. It was more pixelated. It is not that powerful that it can run the simulator very well. Now, so far it looks good, and I'm actually quite surprised here. I'm over here warning you not to use this one, and it seems to be working just fine. Let's see. Okay, that still looks funny. You can see here you are able to switch up your emulator. WWF Superstars. Let's see if this one. Aspect ratio, we're going to choose it to auto. So when we go to auto, it's going to have the screen really wide. This one is where I encountered this issue, and this is how I know how to fix it. So you see the game's loaded up, but it looks squished. This is not how I remember Pac-Man. So what we want to do now is we want to exit this, and just like you selected your emulator, you're going to want to select aspect ratio under advanced game options. Instead of going to emulator, we're going to go to game aspect ratio, and if you're not sure what aspect ratio any game runs at, just Google it. What aspect ratio was Miss Pac-Man? When I did that, it said 4:3. Oh. So we're going to do 4:3. We're going to load it up, and we're going to see how it looks now. So right now we've gone through quite a few of the things that I had to learn the hard way. So here you can see we're in Pac-Man, and this is the aspect ratio that Pac-Man's supposed to be in. It's working just fine. I'm going to exit out here. And so a lot of these things I just found out trial and error. Just use this device quite a bit. The next thing I want to show you is from the main menu here, you're going to see that the selections change a little bit. So when we hit start, we're going to go over to UI settings. Now the game is going to come set with different settings. So if we go to crystal, now it's going to reload, and now this is how everything looks. However, if you are connected to the internet, you go to updates and downloads, and you're going to go to themes. So when you load this up, if you're connected to the internet, you can go down and download any of the themes that are pre-made for this device. And so if you just want to change up the way your device looks, come in here to themes downloader, and these are the ones that came already set up for your device. Just depending on what you're going for. I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to it, but I think I've used this one before. I like this one as well. And to me, it's not how the console selection screen looks. I kind of like how like these look, where it has a big video in the middle. What I look when I pick a theme is how does it look like when I'm going through the game selection. So you can see I downloaded those themes. So we're going to go to UI settings, and now you can see I have a new selection. We have Emuelec master. So let's see how that looks. So I'm not against this type of screen here, but fan of seeing each game individually like this. I like to see just a line of all the games that are coming up, and especially for this reason, you see how this game came up multiple times. Like I kind of find that annoying, and I want to know the title of it that I'm scrolling to. And so I'm not a fan of this theme here. Although I do like this home screen, I'm not a fan of that theme. The next thing, and we're on Crystal. That looked familiar. So yeah, we were at Crystal. Let's go to this one here. So I do like, again, the way the home screen looks on here. But yeah, so this one could work for me. So I like seeing the games on the left, like a whole list of games with the title, and then having the video on the right. So I do like this type. So I'm not against this one here. This one could work for me. And in fact, I think this was one that I used to have. Go to UI settings. We're going to switch over to this one now. And I don't mind this one either. So this one's fine, but when we go to game selection, this one could work. One thing I was going to say is that when you play a game, I like to have the voids on the left and the right of the screen, because if I'm playing the game for a long time, I don't want the left and the right of the screen to burn into my screen. And so those are called bezels, and they aesthetically I like them, but if I'm playing the game for a long time, I don't want that to have any kind of screen burn in. So let's hold this down. Advanced game options. So as you see bezel, I'm going to turn this on. So you can see here it has like this TV on the left and the right. And the reason why I don't have this by default is the device that this is connected to is already a aspect ratio that's like the size of a TV. So there's no advantage of me having it. If you have a widescreen TV and you want to fill that void in on the left and the right, then having the bezel turned on will fill that. I just prefer having black, but I understand that some people might like having the Super Console X2 Pro. I leave that pressed down all the time. And what I do is I'll go here to quit, and you can see here there's a few options. We're going to go shut down system. Really shut down? Yes, we're really going to shut it down. This is the only way that I feel like you can protect your device from bricking. Every time you use this device, if you power it down this way, you can then press the button on the back of the device. Now there may be times where the game freezes or you're locked out of your game. Just earlier my controller disconnected from the device. I had to power it off by pressing the button in the back. But to me, anytime you do that, you run the risk of overwriting or losing the files on that SD card. So if you do not want to lose the files on your SD card and you want to have a safe way of powering down your device, you're going to power it down by pressing the button in the back. Now, from there, I just unplug the device from the wall. But I'm going to do it right now. I'm pressing the button on the back of the device, and now the device has been powered down. If I press the button on the back, it now is going to boot back up. So we can see now that it is starting up. And so the reason why I unplug it from the wall is because I have this in an arcade cabinet. I don't want to have to be fumbling with this device, and it's hidden underneath the device that I'm playing off of. And so to me, I don't want to have to push the button on the back. I just unplug it from the wall, and actually I just have a power strip that I can just power off the power strip, and I leave the button pressed in all the time. But if you have this set up on your TV, easily accessible, then after you have shut down your device, you can press that button to turn it off, and it'll wait for you to push the button again to power it back on. And that concludes our video today. There are a few other little things that you can do, but really they don't affect the performance of the game. They basically are just little preferences and things that you might... I'll let you discover those on your own. They're not going to affect you from playing a game. The tips that I showed you today will have an immediate impact on how you play games on this device. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a comment. If you like this device, if you purchased one, give me a thumbs up or a comment. The last video I did had over 10,000 views, which means a lot of people are using this device and coming to these videos to figure out how to use it. So thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You have a good day.
Image complete. Click OK. Exit. No format. install todo bien. Click exit. Enter for SD card. System install. ROMs install. Okay. Enter for application hard disk MiniTool rotation wizard for modification del memory rotation. MiniTool rotation wizard. Partition AROM 6.5 giga. Click here. No. Click right. Move size. Click fall. Okay. Fifteen 4.2 gigabyte. Click general. Apply change. Click yes. Espero terminado todo. Partition information is right. Espero. Now click OK. Close application. Enter for this PC. AROM 54.2 giga. Now enter for this PC AROM, copy for all files, past, no delete for BIOS, buzzers, no delete for all, delete for CPU's original buzzers. Copy all, paste all. For SD card, no. Best for 128 giga. Best for image. Enter for image. For SD card some disk. Delete for SD card. No. Now change. Enter for Emuelec. Change file DTB for CPU. For CPU. For CPU Amalogic S 905 X2 no change DTB job. For CPU X3 change DTB for original. Enter for device Amalogic. Amalogic X3 for other way for 2 giga. Gbox Pro, Gbox G11 Pro for CPU S905 X3 2 giga DTB. Copy, paste, delete, now change for name. Rename DTB point image. Enter OK. Yes. OK. No entiendo CPU, nunca problema. Delete. Enter for files original. This PC, no folder, DTB original. Copy, paste. Now all good. Enter memory card for G-Box G11 Pro. Now for image finish for memory card 15 for giga, enter for memory card 128 gigabyte. Full image todo no click format, click console. Okay, now click arrow for system receiver, file recovery from PMF, trabajo for disk Genesis, recovery for Partition, Emuelec Partition storage. Enter for Linux, no problem. Close. Now click virtualization, VMware workstation, install Linux image, a Linux system, Linux Mint, enter power, for change file system. Now click for sorry. Now enter for SD card from box G-Box G11 Pro. Escucha para la sonido. Enter. Kinag. SD card job. Escuchar la video. SD card job. Now configuration for gamepad. Todo bien. Intro for Linux system for modification. Super Mario. Super Mario Bros. Word. Word. Okay. Now open Linux system. Close window. Enter for VM. Enter for VM. Enter for memory card. MXT USB device. Connect. Now connect. For memory, 3 partition. Partition for ROMs, partition for system, partition for storage system. Problem system for ext4. Trabajo job for Linux, no job for Windows. Enter for storage. All file system for storage partition. For partition, no modification for folder. For modification, enter for open as root administration. enter for password. Okay. Now copy, delete all. File system storage. Enter file config. Enter file splash. Logo for intro, video for intro, logo del Emuelec for intro emulator, RAR. Logo for intro. Change, no problem. Enter for folder this temp. Olvido. Temp, yes. No Emuelec temp. Copy, test, pass, delete. PNG. Todos los amigos, goodbye, hasta mañana.